The Orioles won yesterday, and they are assured of having their first winning month since August of 2017. They try to keep the good baseball going tonight against the Seattle Mariners. And now Leiter, they'll be facing Robbie Ray, who came into Seattle with a lot of hype. What have you seen from him this season, and what should we be looking for tonight?
Well, I think it might be a little bit of a tale of two seasons, and I'll show you the numbers on it. But I'm glad we started with this with Robbie Ray on this grip right here. If you show this right here, this is a two-seam fastball, and I'm going to get to this, which is a sinking fastball. It has arm side movement and it tails, but this is a pitch that's been added. But let me say this: of all pitchers, here's the reigning Cy Young Award winner, right? Exceptional year in Toronto. This is a grunt pitcher. He's tried different things, arm action. He was with Arizona and came over. He was shorter on the backside, a la Lucas Giolito. Went back to conventional arm action. But here's a guy that primarily has been fastball, four-seam. I'm coming at you, and I'm grunting. And I'm going to throw my slider as hard as I can. And he was very good at it. I mean, the quickest to most strikeouts in 1,000 strikeouts in the amount of games that he's had in the big leagues. But let me get to the nuts and bolts here. When you throw off your fastball, whether you throw 88 or 98, there's a mental psyche behind knowing what's going on. And we obviously aren't in training rooms. We're not in doing side days and working with these guys and knowing what's going on. But when you look at an average velocity drop, and it might not seem like a lot to folks out there, he is sixth on this list of, you see the velo difference. Now, what does that mean? Now, if it means something for somebody who believes that he needs that extra velocity, there's a little insecurity that comes with that. So right now, based on the starts that he's had, 15 of them, he's got 94.8, 93.1, 1.7. So the juice or the little extra hop is not there. So what happens if you are a two-pitch pitcher, as Robbie Ray has been mostly, you start, if you miss with the fastball and it doesn't have that extra giddy up, now it becomes a one-pitch mix. If you don't have a feel for your breaking ball, his primary, secondary pitch, you get in trouble. So by showing that, Robbie Ray, I always like the guys that are they look like they're going to come at you and rip your throat out, and this is what he's been. Every batter in the big leagues that faces him knows that you're going to get heaters. The elevated high fastball is what he's been with, and that slider. What I like about the slider difference is that he ends up changing speeds on it. So here, basically this. When I get at different counts, 2-2 count, four-seam fastball. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be quiet right here. Listen. You hear the ground? Well, knuckle curveball, not so much. Stop right there, Lucas. All right, so I just mentioned, that's good. So fastball slider, he's starting to throw a little bit more of a knuckle curve. Knuckle curve, you just take your index finger. Most guys want their middle finger on the baseball. This is just a guide. Some guys were able to put their finger off the knuckle literally on the ball, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to get rid of this because it creates more drag, and this is the pull. This is the finger for you to pull down. I threw a curveball off this seam, and I wanted two different feels because I didn't want my slider to be slurvy or my curveball to get too hard. So two different distinct grips, and you're seeing Robbie Ray do that. Go ahead and play it, Lucas. So this is a pitch that he's going to throw at 80, 81 miles an hour, and he'll have the harder breaking ball. Stop right there. Back it up. All right. So here is a separator. He really didn't throw a two-seamer. You mess around with it on flat ground, you do it on side days, but to feel comfortable in the game, and often you got to get to a place where you say, hey, look, your four-seam fastball and slider, while it's good, you're laboring, it's taking a lot of pitches, guys are taking pitches, maybe fouling them off. You could get a two-seam fastball with downward action. And I know this is becoming a little more in vogue because the whole launch angle thing kind of basically got major league pitchers from not throwing down in the zone because everybody was trying to launch up. And we know that that's not true because the swing, you don't loop your swing. Go ahead and play this, Lucas. Watch the action here if you could do it slow. Stop, back it up. So here we got four-seam guy that is generally a grunt guy that wants to live upstairs. He's going to throw as hard as he can, get behind the baseball, pull down, and get really good backspin on it. This two-seam spin, I love it because I love the action. Watch this ball tail inside to Alvarez. Now, whether that's a foul ball or a ground ball, and in this case it's a ground ball, you get that pitch, especially the left-hander, left on left, arm side, they have to respect that. That ended up being one of his harder sliders there. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between. Back it up. Okay, so now I just showed you Alvarez. So we end up going left, right. You have a 1-1 count. Guys know what he wants to do. He's going to grunt and get in the zone and get ahead and bury a slider. This two-seam fastball, similar, but now off the barrel because it's going to be the end of the bat. Go ahead and play it. Slow-mo on this. Stop. This is perfect. Because now, if nothing else, you have right-handed hitters that are conscious of inside because he powers his breaking ball inside and he'll elevate with his high fastball. This is a beautiful pitch. You get ground balls, they're action balls because they see it hittable, and then the last 15 feet, it ends up dropping marginally enough to get off the barrel. That's an excellent pitch. And again, this is not Robbie Ray's MO. He's been doing this in his last 4 starts. Well, here we go. Last 2 seasons, I just wanted to show the usage. See the fastball usage, right? These were just primarily 4-seamers. Didn't have a 2-seamer. You look over here, sinker. And the sinker is only in the last 4 starts. So this is exciting. If it was for me or you know, as actually doing it or obviously a Mariners fan, you got a guy with a new toy that has actually had some great success with it in his last 4 starts. And that has now flipped his model to throwing less 4-seamers, elevate late in the count to get a guy to swing at a high fastball. Slider usage is about the same as what it was. He really doesn't throw a whole lot of curves, and you can just forget about the changeup. But this is the point of this, of a Robbie Ray or anybody else. This guy's got a Cy Young award in his office somewhere at his home. Is that you have to constantly, when you're a major leaguer, we talk about you got to make adjustments. You got to make much adjustments. Yeah, you do. Because everybody's got they've got information, they've got data, they've got reports, they've got hot zones, cold zones. So I'm impressed with Robbie Ray. I'm curious as heck as to how this plays out for him. But you can see discernibly. I mean, it's not even close. It's night and day, literally, from a guy who's now saying,
wow,
okay, I'm going to throw a 2-seam fastball. Yes, Roflo, what'd you get on this?
I like those numbers, and I really like the way you're telling people to stop and go. Hey, stop. Hey.
No, I'm only telling one person. He's our director. Thank you, Lucas.
We need to get you a clicker. Every old man should have a clicker. I'm just playing. I'm just playing with you. Seriously, you're old.
It's all good, Roflo. I think we're about the same age. You just look better.
Well, you know, you said it.